Hey friends, welcome to today's episode of Friend Fusion. And listen, I really want you to set your hearts and minds for this conversation ahead of us. This episode of Friend Fusion is dedicated to people who have endured betrayal. Maybe you found yourself in cycles and patterns in your relationships. Maybe you have been tested to your wits' end. The space, this season that you're in, I can promise you that this episode will serve you and serve you well. Stay tuned for this episode of Friend Fusion.
Friend Fusion. Marker and action.
Hi friends, I'm Trinity Mitchell, better known as your friend Trin, and welcome to today's episode of Friend Fusion. Listen, today's guest is so very special to me. I think you guys know this because I'm really heavy. I love her real bad. Y'all know that. But one thing that I've told her, but I don't know if she really understands the impact that she has on people's lives. When you meet this lady, if you come into any close proximity to her, your life immediately starts to change. She has a way of seeing something about you that you're not even aware of yet. I think the reason I'm sitting here because she saw something in me. Aww. I love you real bad.
I love you
too.
I'm
not, listen, do I have to introduce you? Friends, welcome to Friend Fusion, Pastor Kels.
Hey y'all.
Thank you for joining me.
I'm excited. I feel like we've grown up some.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
indeed.
A lot.
Indeed. Yes.
Since first season.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
This is great. I'm
yes.
honored to be here.
Thank you. What people don't know is Pastor Kellie is my first sponsor. I feel like you're absolutely amazing, right? Because
Thank you.
I'm not trying to whatever, because I'm not that girl, but it's the truth. So I think about this often. Pastor Kellie did not have a Pastor Kellie. I feel like when you were evolving and you were growing and your life was changing, right? I've heard so many stories of you, it was just like tug of war with you,
Definitely.
Yes, trying to grow.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and so So is that what has inspired you to push me the way you have?
I think so. I think I said all the time, and even though sometimes I use it in the context of generosity. Mm-hmm. When you are rescued from something or when God shows you something, it's your social responsibility to reach back for somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I feel like for me, number one, somebody else being great. So number one, somebody else being great does not subtract from your greatness.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people operate as if it does. Like two people can't coexist in greatness. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's what I feel like. I feel like I had a lot of that when I was stepping into this thing that I didn't really even know what it was. It was very unique, what God called me to do. And I don't feel like I was supported. I wasn't supported. Mm-hmm. I think people really thought I was kind of losing it. When I first started, I think they slick thought I had lost my mind. When I started praying and posting videos. I didn't have really anybody with a voice that mattered to me saying, hey, I believe in you, go forward. So I think that's probably why I'm real adamant about that, because I know how that journey is to not feel supported. I mean, when God gives you something, it's gonna be wild, or God didn't give it to you. It's not gonna look like it's doable in the natural, because it's not.
Right.
But that's one thing within itself. Mm-hmm. But when you have to deal with people who you feel like, I need you to show up for me, and they don't, that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
So I don't want to ever be that person who doesn't show up or support.
And I really think, too, when you're growing, a lot of people who struggle with those insecurities and that lack of confidence, really, and they get threatened by your confidence and threatened by your growth and all that kind of stuff, what they don't realize is growth is hard, and I actually need you to tell me, I'm here for you, I got you. I'm not, some people I hate that some people will perceive your growth as a means, as like an attack on them.
I like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? But the truth is, like this is so hard. It matters to me, like when Sarah come in the room to assist me.
Oh, yeah.
It matters to me, like when you come in and say, you good, you straight, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of people being mad because you're doing something.
I think, and we talked about this before we started recording, but I think a part of it is religion. Especially in my situation, because I was doing something so out of the box.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that was other people who had gone before me, who did have a space in my life, was like, what are you doing? Because this doesn't look like
the box I put you in.
Come on now, you. I'm gonna throw this phone at you. Yes, this doesn't. That'll preach right there. You need to make sure you turn that into something.
Okay.
That doesn't look like the box I put you in. If I didn't have this microphone on right now.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's a great way of explaining it. I don't know if it's intentional though. I don't think it's intentional.
Yes.
I think we just have these ideas and these restrictions, and we project them on other people.
Absolutely.
And then if somebody kicks against it, now you're being disrespectful. You're dishonorable. No, I'm just following the vision that God gave me. You didn't have to see it because it's my vision.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and that's that whole, I've had a lot of that.
So tell me, I feel like there's a guilt that comes with growth, especially with religion, in terms of like religion, because you feel like you're dishonoring some of the people, like especially if you value their voice, if you value, you know, what they mean to you, that relationship. How have you navigated going against the grain?
I lost some relationships. Some relationships that really mattered to me, although some of those have since been restored. I lost some because I was like, you know what? If I got to choose between what you talking about and what God showed me, I'm going with what God showed me, even though you might not agree, because sometimes you got to go and do it and even come back for the people that didn't agree with you. That's when, like, you really can't hold people. You can't hold it against people. Maybe they lack capacity. Maybe they lack vision. I can understand that because it's your vision. Even if they don't want you to grow, even if they don't want to admit it, I don't feel like you need to hold it against people. I got this new thing now. I'm like, I'm just letting people be.
Yeah.
But God restores. And I feel like I've had a lot of that too. I've lost some relationships, but also some of those have been restored. So it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to follow what God showed you.
My new thing is I want to stop last timing people. I do a really good job at, well, you know, last time.
I'm guilty. Cause see, I give people a lot of last times, and that's something I'm working on. I give way too many chances.
Yeah. Your heart is really
It's
big.
terrible.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Y'all look, pray for me. Who I talk to, y'all pray for me. I need help, cause I got it bad.
Yeah.
I got it bad.
I get it.
I'm tough, but I'm soft.
I've side-eyed you more than a few times. In 5 years of knowing you, I have side-eyed you probably 100 times.
Like, no. So I've got to the point now where, like, okay, what do y'all think? So that other people can say, we're not doing that. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I acknowledge I need help with that last time.
I think you just try to see people for what
they could be.
What you want them to be. And like, but they're not there. They're just not there. Yeah.
So then you be like, dang.
Yeah.
This is really how you are.
Yeah.
Let me just accept that.
I've had to accept that in my relationships because I've been so good at, especially as the only girl of 8 children, all my brothers, every friend, I've said this, every friend that I would have immediately become my sister. She didn't even have to show me attributes of sisterhood. It's just, that's my sister because that's what I want. But she hasn't proven to me that she's a sister. You know what I mean?
I'm too trusting too. But then you have this thing where you go from being too trusting to not trusting anybody. So
PTSD.
I'm traumatized. So then you start side-eyeing everybody, even the people who you actually can trust. You be like, can I really trust you? Because I just don't know.
Yeah.
Because after you've gone through that so much.
But you know, I think it was Pastor J. Drew Sheard talk about forgiveness. And what I loved about it is, see, I think a lot of times with religion, we're so bound to the idea that once I forgive you, we have to reconcile.
And I think you did some content on that, and I think that's a whole word.
Yeah.
Because I can forgive you, because I got a situation like that right now. Somebody that I really, really love, my god brother, and I really love him.
You do.
I mean, I would do anything for him, but I don't want to deal with him.
I get it.
And he's like, but why?
You're not mad at me, but why?
Like, I'm not mad at you, but I've just decided based on our history that you're not somebody that I can share a space with.
Yeah.
Anymore.
I don't want you in close proximity to
I
me.
don't, but so you said this last year, I Am Woman, and it went viral. You got to know where to put people.
You do.
And that is so true. So it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I don't forgive you. It doesn't mean that we haven't reconciled. But just because we reconcile don't mean I'm about to go out to dinner with you.
Yes.
Because my space matters to me, and who I share my time with matters to me. Who I talk to, who I actually exchange my breath with matters to me.
Yes.
Because I'm tired of talking to people who don't value what I have to say, or that I don't trust, or, based on last time.
Yes.
But this is the thing about me. It takes me a lot of times to be burned, so to speak, before I'm like done. But I'm trying to be better about that.
Yeah. I think forgiveness is just what Pastor J. Drew Sheard explained in this clip that I saw. He said, forgiveness doesn't mean I have to come and reconcile with you and we go back to normal. Forgiveness means I have to get to know you again.
Or not.
Because what I thought I knew to be
You're
true
not
about
what
you.
I thought you were.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something I'm having to accept about people. It's almost like a way to sum up some things. You're just not who I thought you were. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Because that was me thinking you were a way that you're not. Even if that's how you present it, it's still based on my perception. So was it you or was it me?
Or it was me. I'm having this void in my life, and because you present yourself to be the filler that I need for that void, I make you that.
I made it. Like, you might not even have signed up for that. I made you that.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's actually on me.
Yes.
Or on the individual.
Yes.
Like, I put you in a place, come on, where I never should have put you.
Yeah.
So that's my bad. And I'm learning from that.
Yeah.
And trying to be more careful. You can't undo what's done.
Right.
But you can be cautious or mindful or aware of what happens now and next. Now.
So tell me, in this season of your life, what's going to be different about this season than every season before?
I'm free. And in a sense that I really was bound to religion. I didn't know it, because when you're trapped in it, so to speak, you don't know you're trapped necessarily. And so people are like, what do you mean by that? I was very, very much trying to please other people. What would church people say or think, or certain places I wouldn't even go. Like, I was really tripping. I wasn't living my life. I was so wrapped up in trying to be what everybody else thought I should be, knowing it didn't feel right to me, because I'm very different. I don't really fit in anywhere, but I was altering myself so that I could fit into spaces that I probably was never. It was probably never meant for me to even be in those spaces. But sometimes, man, somebody told me this. I forgot who it was, but sometimes when a door doesn't open or an opportunity doesn't present, it's because you're already bigger than that opportunity. We automatically assume that the opportunity is greater than we are, and why doesn't this person notice me, or why won't this person blah 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 blah.
So good.
But what if God has something actually, and it's not trying to be funny or discount anybody else, but what if God has something greater for me, and I'm trying to squeeze into a space that I've already outgrown? Because sometimes we're further along than we realize we are. So I'm in a season now where I'm not trying to force my way. I'm owning my own authenticity. I'm not trying to get anybody to notice me or open a door for me. The doors will open that are supposed to open. The relationships that I'm supposed to have will happen. I'm in a place where I'm nurturing the ones that matter to me. I'm not trying to spread myself too thin in this season, trying to give everybody a piece of me. No, I'm spending my time with people who matter to me. And I think quality is far better than quantity.
Absolutely.
I would rather spend an hour with somebody who loves me and makes me want to be better than be all over the place trying to make time for everybody else. And I don't want to be around people who don't want to grow.
Period.
Like, I cannot drag people in this season. So it's a season where I'm cutting loose, pruning, accepting things as they are, and working on myself. Working on being better.
Tell me about a time where you were trying to squeeze into
Jesus.
something you had already, like you weren't even supposed to be there because it was you were bigger than that thing.
I think even trying to juggle Warrior Nation in the beginning, which is my ministry, and trying to still work multiple jobs, man, I was strung out. So that's one example of where I tried to make it all work and I just gave up.
Yeah.
And just said, you know what, I'm just gonna jump out here. And if I don't make it, I'm the kind of person that I'll take those risks. Or there was a time when I met a lady and she was very well connected. Now she ain't make no connections for me, but see, some folks can be well connected, but they ain't gonna connect you with nobody.
Right.
Amen.
Amen.
But she was well connected, and just for a short season, it's almost like I felt like she wanted me to like ride her coattail. Like I can serve, but I'm not trying to get close to you so you can get me
I'm
somewhere
not trying
else.
to kiss your.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I can't say it, but you might can say a little bit of it. So, church folks, see, it's all right. So I realized, lady, you don't hold my destiny.
Yeah. I feel.
And I just stepped back. Because some people will act like they do.
Yeah.
And I've learned that I will get there,
Yes.
whether you help me or not.
Right.
Because God will always send the help. So
Absolutely.
we're not, and I feel like there were people who really could have helped, but didn't, and that's okay too. Because it's so funny how you'll still end up there.
Right where you're supposed to
Right
be.
where you're supposed to be. So I went through that season where I was getting invited to places, you know, based on association, but it was just like I don't think it was the right fit. I didn't feel right. I felt a scratch in my spirit.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds churchy, but I
feel
did. Like almost like, just pull back from this and just wait for the right opportunities.
And here's what I've learned, especially since starting Friend Fusion and having to, like, anytime you start anything, be it your business, be it executing a vision that God has given you, like, whenever you get ready to start something, you're always going to experience some friction.
Absolutely.
Always. It just comes with the territory. So if you want to start something, friends, and you're listening to
Just
me,
get-
prepare
yeah,
your heart and
prepare,
mind for a little
Jesus.
friction. And sometimes it comes from the most unexpected places, and it can be very hurtful. But what God revealed to me is He does not want His glory contaminated.
Come on.
Like what He has on me, everybody can't touch it.
That's it.
He don't need everybody
I can't be
talking
too
about
available.
it. Some people can't talk about it. Some people can't bless it. Some people can't be, because He don't want His glory contaminated. What He has for me is going to be no points of reference.
I love that.
And so sometimes we're so upset with people because they didn't respond the way we expected them to. But when the Holy Spirit revealed to me in prayer that God does not want His glory contaminated, I literally released all resentment.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Because you can definitely hold resentment.
Oh yeah, it hurts.
Like, oh, you're not going to show up?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Man, I had a conference. I think last year's conference was the worst for me. It was the best conference, my women's conference. But it was the worst. But it was the worst because I was so focused on who wasn't there.
I understand that. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Like, oh, y'all just not going to show up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got you. But now it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I can't hold that against you.
Right. Right.
I need to focus on who is here, not who isn't here.
Absolutely. And I had to do the same thing, PK. I had to like come to grips like, you so focused on who's feeling some kind of way, who's not here.
Jesus.
You're not even showing gratitude for the people who are.
All these people here. And I'm thinking
Yes.
about the 5 people who didn't show up.
Yeah. And it's so funny because God has a way of surrounding you with the people you need.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're so focused on the people you want.
Absolutely. That's right.
But He will literally surround you with the people you need to get this. We have helpers. I don't care what anybody says. It may seem like you don't have helpers, but it's just the people. It's just that the people you want aren't helping you.
Come
you
on.
have helpers. If you just stop complaining, because the reality of it is, you got when you're like confused, when you're frustrated. That's all what I would call a descending type of energy. So your head is here.
Yeah.
Like you mad, you frustrated. They got you feeling some kind of way. But if you just stop and look up. Like you will see that you actually got people with you.
Touch your neighbor and say, "Stop and look up."
Yeah, you have to stop and look up.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. It's just a distraction.
It's just a distraction.
Yeah, but you said something very powerful. You said because we have an idea of who should be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that may not be God's plan, like his
Yes.
perfect plan. I want the people who are supposed to be in the room, because I was talking to somebody that follows the ministry a couple years ago. She said something very powerful, that there is basically an audience waiting for you. I would rather be in a room where the people are waiting for me, like there's a room with my name on it or a space with my name on it, than be somewhere where I'm out of place. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not, so sometimes we try to put ourselves in these places and spaces where we shouldn't be trying to be in the first place,
Exactly.
instead of going to the room where you are the one they're waiting for.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't want what you have.
Oh, absolutely.
But I would rather go to where I'm desired than be trying to force myself on somebody or on a group of people who just don't even, maybe even like what I do or like what I have to offer.
And it's not even that they don't want it, they don't even appreciate
They don't-
it. Yet they want to benefit from it.
My God.
Ain't that
Oh,
something?
that's another episode.
But listen, you know, it reminds me of the scripture. Jesus was in his hometown, and he couldn't. I don't want to say perform a miracle.
It
but
said he couldn't do any miracles.
Yeah, but
It
he
said
couldn't,
it.
because they didn't respect him. They didn't even. But they actually wanted that of him, but they did not value that of him.
Right.
And people are just like that. And sometimes we find ourselves trying to give them. Oh, I just wrote this down the other day. I should make y'all go buy my book first, but it ain't out. But I'm gonna tell y'all.
Come on, give it to
I
us.
said sometimes you can want something for people, but they don't want it from you.
Jesus.
And you be trying to give it to them. You be trying to give it to them, trying. And it's literally stressing you out, but they don't want it from you because they got you in this box. And now that you've literally broken the box they put you in,
Yep.
they're like, you can give me 10,000, but I don't want it from you.
My God.
And you like, but this will help you.
Or I want it, but I don't want you.
That's good.
So they can go either way. I'll
Yes.
take the benefits, but I don't want you.
Yes.
I just want the benefits.
Yes.
But guess what? It's all or none, baby.
Period. Period.
In this season,
I mean,
it's all or none.
I'm looking forward to being, and I know God is quickly transitioning me. I'm looking forward to being a vessel where I just pour into people. And I don't just mean that like praying for y'all, feeding y'all content. No, I want to be able to, Pastor Kellie says we can not just pray for people, but we can answer prayers.
Amen.
And so we believe in having money around here.
Come on, you gotta have it.
You gotta have some money.
Yeah.
And so, cause you can't. I mean, people. It's okay if you can pray for them to be hungry, but you gonna
have to
buy
give
some
them
food.
some sandwich or
You gonna
something.
have to help them,
Absolutely.
right? And so, I'm looking forward to being able to do that. This episode is great, right, friend? I know. Join me for more episodes just like this one in my Patreon community. That's patreon.com/yourfriendtrend. I cannot wait to connect with you in real time. And when I say this, I want you guys to separate what I'm saying. There are so many people who will attach to you to benefit from you,
Yes.
but will not support what you do.
At all.
Don't want to be a part. Ain't gonna come up here and hustle with me. Ain't gonna help my husband set up the cameras to carry it on. But as soon as I ain't gonna repost,
Not
ain't
a
gonna
thing.
share, ain't
Don't know
gonna
what you
do
talked about.
nothing. But as soon as they find out I got this or I got that, or they think they know what I got, because folks are like that
They
too.
like to count.
I'm gonna call Trend for this. No.
How is it that they know who to call when they don't talk to you no other time?
That's it.
But people can find you when they want something. It's incredible.
Think
to
about me as much as you think about me any other time. I mean that.
It's amazing.
Think
But
about
you're
me
right.
as much as you think
You're
about
right.
me any other time.
And that's one of the things that's been a hard truth for me too. That you can accept what I have to give you, but you really don't want me.
Exactly.
No, you just want the benefits of being in association with
Yeah.
me, but you don't really want me.
Yes.
And it just is what it is.
Yeah, that's the truth. So tell me, I love that you said that you want the benefit of being in association with me, but not me. What is your most recent lesson in that? A defining moment, maybe?
Well, one of my most recent lessons, I had to detach from my own sister. I did.
So how have you been navigating that?
It's been quiet.
It's been quiet.
I love her.
Yeah.
But I can't do that relationship
I understand.
ever.
Do you mean ever?
I mean ever.
Okay.
Because it's not safe, and I feel like I did a lot. She did a lot too, for me, but I just got to a place where I had to accept what it is. We didn't grow up together.
Yeah.
And so I just had to get to a place where I had to accept that I can love you without doing life with you. And that's tough.
That is tough.
It's tough.
That's a traumatic but yet a beautiful truth.
I'll do anything for her now.
Yeah.
If she ever needs me, I'm there.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself doing life with her again.
I just recently read a statement about siblings and how sometimes we feel confined to be besties in our lives, and we just don't align that way.
And quit trying to figure out which sister. I got more than one sister.
It may be me.
It could be sister in Christ. Okay, so quit being nosy. But it's hard when it's a relative or a close relative, and you expect, hey, we're siblings. But since I've been going through that with my own family or whatever, some of my family members, I've learned that I'm not alone in that.
Yeah.
That there are other people who, because I can be related to you but not be in relation with you.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's probably the hardest one for me because it is a blood relative.
Yeah.
Now, I had a lot of people do stuff. I've been linked up with the wrong people, but in this case, it's the toughest because I really do love my sister.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't ever reconcile, because that's not what I mean, but I just don't know if we'll ever really share space again.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel safe.
In the role of relationships, right? You talk about, and like in this situation, it's something that you've come to realize, like it's not safe for you, and nobody wants to live on edge, right?
Right.
Tell me, how do you think you've played? I think so. When it comes to relationships, all of us can talk about we can always tell the story from our stance as it pertains to like being a victim of these type of cycles and patterns in our lives. I want you to tell me, what have you identified about yourself that contributes to these cycles and patterns and like failed relationships?
Oh, totally my fault. Totally.
In what way?
I'm too trusting.
Okay.
I'm too giving.
Okay. Why do you think you, like, if you've discovered this truth, why do you think you give the way you do?
Probably from childhood trauma.
Okay.
That's why I'm in therapy. Type it in the comments. Come on. Hey, I'm trying to get through my issues because I got some.
Yeah.
But just growing up, my sister Chanel was my mom's favorite. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And I feel like that created a rift between my sister and I. We didn't get along growing up. She preferred to be the only child. Although my mom and my daddy had another child after that, Lindsay.
Right.
And I think then Lindsay became the favorite, the boy. But I think growing up, we had a really tough childhood anyway. My daddy was just really need to be on medication, rest his soul. And then my parents, they were married like 25 years, I think, believe it or not. But they had a very rough relationship, marriage, abusive. So we saw all of that. And I just think the dynamics of us growing up, my mom, favored my sister, felt like she was the prettier one. And she is beautiful, but I grew up and was like, so am I.
Right, absolutely.
So I think just wanting, and so this is what would happen. My mom would say how beautiful Chanel is. My sister has long hair. I got long hair now. See, God gave it to me anyway.
Right.
He'll do it. But for real, seriously, so just she could sing. Chanel can sing really, really well. She could sing really, really well back then for sure. She don't really sing as much now, but she could. So my mom would always just marvel over her beauty and how well she could sing and how long her hair was. Mama used to say, your hair is nappy. Now I know we shouldn't be saying that about our kids, but y'all get off my mama, rest her soul.
Right.
She repeated what she saw.
Yes.
So with all that being said, I would say, well, Mama, what about me? This is true. This is a true story. Chanel will probably agree with this. And my mom will say, you're smart. And I am. But I took that and ran with that, which is probably why I have 4 degrees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just an overachiever.
Do you think you developed any insecurities from her not telling you that you are beautiful as well?
Absolutely. And that probably is, and my daddy would say very, very ugly things to me too. Like if I'm eating, he'd be like, look at your mouth. You got a horse mouth. I'm like, I got your mouth. My mouth is made just like his, so that means you must have one.
Right.
But I'm little, so, first of all, I would get slapped into next week if I said something like that.
Yeah.
But you don't tell your children things like that. I know better now, but they would just repeat. They did the best they could.
I feel like it's one thing, and I'm not trying to cut you off, I feel like it's one thing to get bullied at school by kids.
But at home,
it's different.
Yeah.
Especially by your parents.
Yeah, and so that probably led to me making quick decisions. Anybody may have given me some kind of attention, I trusted it because I didn't have security like that at home. I know they loved me, but they just had a twisted way of showing it sometimes.
Yeah.
And that definitely stemmed into this thing where I didn't realize it, but that's probably why I've made some of the choices that I've made and done some of the things that I've done. Just wanting to be accepted, wanting to be validated, wanting to be loved. Because I don't feel like I really had that growing up. I didn't have it growing up. I know my mom loved me, and I know my daddy loved me, but it was just kind of weird at home.
If you could think of one choice that you made as a reflection of your upbringing, what would it be?
Oh, multiple marriages for sure. For sure. Everybody
You're
was
the only
the one.
person in the world who would say multiple marriages and laugh.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah, I feel you.
Everybody was the one, and wasn't none of them the one.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
was just vulnerable, and in that moment, it seemed right.
Yeah.
Well, all of them didn't even seem right in the moment. Some of it, I just felt pressured.
Well, since we're here, we talk about multiple marriages. How many times have you been married? 4. And you don't feel like any of them were...
Oh, I'm certain.
Okay. I got you. I feel you. But I think I wanted to ask you that because there are a lot of women who are afraid to say that or like embarrassed of that. And it's the truth and it's okay because you're not alone. You know what I mean?
I'm not who I was either. So that's why it doesn't bother me because that was a moment in time and I've learned. Oh, I've learned now.
Yeah.
I'm paid for some lessons.
Absolutely.
Bought lessons are the best kind. I saw somebody, and then go back to you, but I saw somebody, a celebrity who was recently remarried. First thing folks was saying on her timeline, which husband is this? Folks be hating. Just shut your mouth. If you can't be happy, for this girl looks so happy, let her be.
Yeah.
How many is that? However many it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Right.
But I just watch how people, and then I saw another lady who recently got married in ministry, super happy. Like I've talked to her, she's super happy.
Yes.
How many husbands is this for her? People literally have these dialogues under people's videos.
It's always women like that. I'm not saying that.
I hadn't seen any guys say anything.
I'm not saying that men aren't there doing that. But what's funny is the only difference between you guys and some other women would be that you just married the person.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, because a lot of women have been in relationships that were not for them. They chose what they chose because of unhealed trauma. They were looking for attention and they thought that this thing is shining, so it must be for me. And it's just funny to me how a lot of women, my mother-in-law says this and it stuck with me. She says there's no matter what anybody says, men do hurt women, but nobody hurts women more than women.
You ready for this? I like sex. So I didn't want to have sex and not be married. So
I'm sorry. Oh, I tried to stay professional for a second, but child.
So that kind of explains some of it. Like, if we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing this. And they was like, okay.
Yeah. Because listen, you're not going to have me out here.
In these streets, wilding out.
I can't
No,
stop
I'm a
hollering.
church girl. Don't play with me.
Yes,
so
I
now,
feel that.
y'all can talk about that in the comments.
Yeah, and some of y'all didn't require nothing. Talk about that in the comments. Anyway, I think I really appreciate your transparency.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times people when they hear about, especially a woman, I don't think men catch a rap like this. But when women have been in multiple relationships or something, it must be something wrong with her. It must be
definitely.
How have you navigated that? Like, because I'm sure you've dealt with it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially as the numbers grew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I cared. Now I don't because I'm going on 45 years old. I'll be 45 in February.
Period. Don't look it. Y'all did not know.
And, life isn't slowing down.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to spend the rest of my life dwelling on what happened already.
Yeah.
Or allowing other people to project what they think I should do and miss out on what's ahead of me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when I go home right now, there's nobody there. So all these opinions are just what they are.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Because nobody's going home with you outside the people in your house. So who are we actually living for?
Yeah.
So you can't live for what other people think you should do. And I did that a lot. And when I say pressure, yes, you want to do the right thing, but a lot of that was religious pressure and societal pressure. Like I know for a fact, my previous relationship, I would not have jumped in it the way I did, but I was already in this massive ministry when my ex walked out. And I think that just left me like, kid you not, I was like, so, first of all, I'm so glad he walked out. But at the time, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I feel like that I was very vulnerable. And so I jumped into something else to try to cover up that damage because I didn't know how I was gonna face people with a ministry that was like blowing up and still having to deal with religious people saying, who's your covering? See, I'm not in any of that. I don't do all that now. Like, Jesus is my covering. But, 6 years ago, I wasn't who I am now. I was still stuck in that, oh, what are people gonna think? What are church people gonna think? How am I gonna run this ministry by myself? That was like literally blowing up. And that caused me to make some quick decisions that had I thought it through better or given it more time, I wouldn't have made those decisions.
How do you think that decision affected your leadership?
Oh gosh, I lost it.
You think you lost it?
Over time. I feel like I lost for a season what God said I was supposed to do. Because then you get into this mix of what am I supposed to do and also be submissive and all these things that, your partner may expect of you. And then when you're a woman in power, if you're with somebody who can't handle that power, then you got a whole nother situation on your hands. So it was just a lot for me to juggle. But I feel like I really blew it when I did that. But I know I learned from it. But it was because of where I was in my life. Like I was in the seat of my next. And then something just came from out of nowhere and it just threw me off. And honestly, in retrospect, the relationship that I was in, it wasn't good. We were just going through the motions. We weren't happy. But I probably would have stayed with him forever because I didn't want to deal with church people and go through another divorce and have to go through that again because it had been so much time between the previous one that people had kind of left it alone. But then here we go again. It's like, now what do I do? But now I don't care.
Good. I love that for you too. I
like,
really
it's okay.
Do.
It's okay. It is.
I get to experience a single Pastor Kels.
I love this for me.
I do too. I love this for me. I think,
and not having to hide it. Right, it's okay.
Yeah. I think you are experiencing a freedom, not just in your identity, but like in every aspect of your life. I really do.
And my kids.
Something I know that you can speak to. What is your advice to a woman who's married to someone or in relationship with someone who shows signs of jealousy, maybe intimidation, or ultimately want control because she's a woman in power? Now,
the churchy answer is believe God and go to therapy. But the real answer is
it's friend fusion.
Run.
The real answer is what?
Run. I sat down with one of my friends not too long ago and we talked. And he had been and he's a friend. He's really like a brother to me. And he had been in a marriage and had gone through a divorce recently. And I asked him, what was the breaking point for him? He said, I began to just really pay attention to what she was saying. And what she was saying let me know she really wasn't for me. So it's one thing to be in a situation where you got things you need to work on. But and it's something I had to accept, when the person that you're supposedly doing life with is speaking like an opponent, you got to take it for what it is. Because we're supposed to be on the same team. That's what I thought, like a partnership. So if you're in something, somebody stopped me in the grocery store yesterday. She watches my ministry. She said, what do you do when you're in an abusive marriage? Wow. She said, because I've been watching you and I know you've spoken on that before. And I said, just inbox me. And then as sure as we were talking, her husband pulled up, BOOM! And blew the horn. She had to hurry up and go get in the car. And I'm like in a few seconds she talked to me, she was like, what do I do? So that's a reality.
Yeah, it is.
For people. She's like, what do you do when you're being controlled? And then next thing I know, I'm hearing a horn blowing. And my days do all that stuff. Every time you get out the car, you got 2 seconds. So I would just say, if it's not healthy And I don't know how long this has been going on. You know, of course, that varies.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't settle, and I would always go for safety.
Yeah.
Because jealousy and control can easily turn into something else. Because I've been in a situation like that too. I wasn't married to the person, but I've definitely been in some abusive, physically abusive relationships that almost cost me my life.
Yeah.
But some people lose their lives.
Absolutely. Every day.
Every single day. Like, domestic violence is real.
Yeah.
So if you're in something that's unsafe and controlling, I would say you're going to have to go for safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You spoke about your dad experiencing childhood trauma from his parents. You spoke about, I think I need to backtrack a little bit. So Pastor Kellie has an international conference that is known as I Am Woman.
Yes.
I Am Woman is a big deal. It is major.
Thank you.
Okay. And a lot of you found me because of clips from I Am Woman. That's how powerful I Am Woman is, right? Long story made short, at the most recent conference, I wasn't there because I was a month postpartum, unfortunately. But I wasn't there. But in your message, you spoke about the Stockholm syndrome. Do you remember what it meant exactly? But I feel like it's like when a person
Goes back to the trauma.
Goes back to their trauma.
It becomes attractive.
Yes, like they're attracted to their abuser.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's twisted.
Yeah.
But what happens is, and there are moments now where you sit back and you go, this is how you know. You'll be like, well, it really wasn't that bad. No, it was.
Yeah.
Because even in what I taught at I Am Woman in that story, what was it, in Judges?
Yes.
She left. Y'all got to read that. It is something. But
Judges 19.
Judges 19, it's just a tough story, but it's in the Bible. But the woman left him for a reason. And then he basically convinced her to come back and she lost her life. And that's in the Bible.
Yes.
And it's so much in Judges 19 that you can pull and be like, oh my God.
Tell me, do you feel like you saw yourself in that story, like in that lady? Could you relate to her?
I could totally relate to her.
In what way?
She went to her father for safety. And it seemed like he was trying to provide safety. But in the end, he kind of, and I get that, so basically the husband came after her after 3 months. This is in the Bible times. And when he came back for her, you know, her father kept saying, stay another day, stay another day, stay another day. So she ran back to safety. And a lot of times, you know, we have daddy issues. So if your daddy is not a place of safety for you, I thank God for God. He's my daddy.
Yeah.
And I'm safe with him. Because in the natural, my daddy was like a Superman. He was a huge protector. Now he was crazy, but couldn't nobody else mess with us. So I've always looked for that in relationships. In spite of the trauma, he really was a protector. So it's twisted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is also what's in their story. I didn't preach that point, I don't think, but it's coming out to me now. It was a place of safety for her, but it was also a place of trauma because she, for some reason, had left her husband, but some kind of way, he still let her leave with him at the wrong time of day, which caused them to be out at the wrong time of night. Y'all gotta go read the story, Judges 19, which led to her demise. So it's like if you don't have anybody fighting for you or protecting you, sometimes you'll make some decisions that could cost you.
Absolutely.
Because there's no place of safety.
Yeah.
So I saw that, but I saw her resilience. I saw her resilience in that she left.
Yeah.
And then she goes back, and then she still fights her way back. So she was definitely a fighter. And I just saw myself because that could have been me. I could have died at the door.
Yeah.
But I chose to say, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be a statistic. So I can't worry about what other people think. I got to go for safety.
One thing you brought out in that sermon is that you did not hear from her. Like we're reading the
Nothing.
scriptures and we're reading from her dad's perspective, her husband's perspective, of course the writer's perspective, but we never actually hear from her.
How often are our voices silenced?
Yeah. And then you also brought out that in one, like it's within the same chapter, but she's a wife in one verse, and then she's a concubine.
So which
in
one
the
am
other.
I? Like, which one I'm going to be today?
Yeah.
Like, where's the consistency?
And, you know, and let's just bring it into today's time. You know, of course, like sometimes, of course, I'm not saying anybody's a concubine, but I'm sure you've been in a situation where, well, today I feel like I'm your wife. The next day I feel like I'm your enemy. Like, the roles constantly like changing.
Yes.
I think for me, and just witnessing your growth and how you have just ingratiated the power of prayer, and I don't know many people that would just say I'm going to therapy, especially when you lead millions of people. Like, because say I'm going to therapy is very vulnerable, and that, I mean, you're saying I'm going to get help. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to know. I don't know how you've done it, but I want you to speak to like the emotional abuse that you have endured and still every day,
Isn't it crazy?
Showing up to speak to everybody else, to encourage everybody else. Because, and I'm not saying that, like just saying that, I know that you've endured emotional abuse. I don't know, I'm sure some things I don't know. But yeah, just speak to that. Like, how?
So I don't want to sound too churchy right now, but it's for real, the grace of God. So there's a flip side to that, because there's a voice that says you can't tell anybody anything. Look at all the stuff you've gone through. Who can you speak to? But at the same time, there's another side that says, no, I can actually speak to a lot of people, because the difference between me and some other people is that I'm actually talking about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't talk about it. But I feel like that's my message, that I have to talk about it. And then I'm a nurse practitioner too. So you got this medical component where I just believe in science too. Like, I believe in therapy. My mama believed in therapy. Like, she believed in therapy. She believed in psychotropic medication. She
Your
believed in
grandmother
all
was schizophrenic, am I right?
My maternal grandmother was, I want to say, bipolar and schizophrenic. My uncle was too.
Okay.
My mom had severe depression and anxiety. She worried about everything. You see what I'm saying? But that was things that were passed down.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really the grace of God that allows me to do it, where his joy is, there is strength. But I'm just a very resilient person. So I just get up every single day and just make a decision to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, I literally take it one day at a time.
So tell me, were there any mornings where you finished the video and you were like, why am I doing this? How am I doing this? Yeah.
Every morning.
I can only imagine the load, the toll that kind of took on you, because I don't know if in your recent relationship, I don't know if any of us understood the magnitude of what you were dealing with, right? Because some people have a way of making you believe the best of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think for me and Brandon, we're just the kind of people who understand that people are people.
Right.
And so, like, if you, like, whatever, like, I don't know, you're a person.
I'm just going to respect the position.
Yeah. I can separate.
Yeah.
I can separate you being mad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can separate, and I still know that you're Pastor Kellie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I had moments like that, but when I understood the magnitude of what you were enduring, I started fasting.
Thank you.
And before I knew it, you said, I don't know if you called or you told everybody, yeah, I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Completely.
I'm done. Well, I said I didn't know it was going to lead to this, but okay, well, we're here now.
You have to decide when it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm proud of you. I really am, because I think it is normal for any person in your position, especially when you've been married 4 times, to be like, and then with this platform.
Jesus.
Like, I'm so embarrassed, I'm just going to stay married.
Man.
I'm just going to deal with it. Yeah. And you last year you told us in a morning video, you was like, I'm taking my ministry back. What did it mean to you to take your ministry back? Like, what did those words mean? Because a lot of us don't really know what that meant.
It meant I'm going back to what God said.
Okay.
And I just feel like it had gotten to a point where I wasn't even operating it the way I originally saw it, but I didn't realize it. Because sometimes you're so busy trying to make adjustments that you're like, you get to, I always go back and quote my girl, Real Talk Kim. This is a perfect example, because she's been through some stuff too.
Yes.
Several times. And she was like, in one of her previous relationships, once her divorce was final, she says, I didn't even know my favorite color anymore.
Wow.
And you'd be like, how can you not even know your favorite color? No, you can lose yourself to people. And so that's what I mean by, like, I just made a decision, let me go back and do what I feel to be right. Because especially if somebody has, quote unquote, more experience than you, or they're more learned than you in certain areas, yeah, you'll lean into their expertise, and that has its place. But And I know, you know, my life has not been a crystal stair, and I don't have a perfect track record, and I didn't get it right the first time in certain areas, or the second or third or whatever. But for whatever reason, unknown to me, God gave this to me.
Amen.
I don't know why he gave it to me.
Yeah.
I know it's people are like, why did he give this to you? I don't even know. So I get that. But I'm also, so what I meant by getting it back is like, no, I don't really know why he gave it to me. I'm definitely jacked up, but I'm gonna just go with it. As crazy as that may sound, let me just go with that.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant by that. Like, I may not be the most polished, but for whatever reason, unknown to me, he gave me Warrior Nation.
Do you feel like you lost yourself in trying to appease or be like submissive, all the things, like all the stuff
All of
comes
that,
with?
and not just relationally, but even to people's comments. So it's not just pointed towards one individual. I'm talking about the whole big picture.
That's good.
Of people putting in their unsolicited advice every day. Imagine that.
Yeah.
People don't know what it's like when you have a platform and people are always telling you what they think you should do.
Yeah.
And you can't go off on them. I mean,
Right.
you can't cuss them out like you want to,
Yeah.
because then they say you're not saved.
Right.
So
Right.
people get to just talk about you. Like, I can't even post a video of me and my kids without somebody saying why she got that on.
That's crazy.
Why she got those shorts on? It's 200 degrees, see, like, and you people totally miss the message
Have you
and want to
been-
say, why do I have that on?
How have you navigated like social media, reading comments, all that, especially right now?
I don't really read them,
Okay. Good for you. Good for you.
and I don't play into the negative ones. I just now my daughter went off on somebody the other day, my 16-year-old.
Yeah.
She's like, Mama, this lady is talking like she really knows you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just check her, and then the lady goes, and who are you to say? And she was like, I'm her daughter. Cause this lady was just going on about me in the comments. Y'all, she had a whole dialogue going on
Wow.
with somebody else. This lady was so far out of left field, but she was posing as an expert.
Yeah.
And then tried to
An-
check
an
my
expert
child.
on you.
On me.
Yeah.
And ask my daughter, cause she knows she's my daughter. And how do you know her?
I'm tickled.
She's my mom.
Right. Did she come back after
I
that?
don't know. I left that to Chloe. I just laugh. I don't
Yeah.
take it personal anymore. I don't, because you can't.
Yeah. They don't know you personally.
You don't know me.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know me, so why am I letting somebody who doesn't even know me occupy a space in my mind?
Yes,
when I could be
absolutely.
creating with that space or something like that.
Yes. So, as a woman who leads mostly women, why do you believe it is important for you to be transparent and vulnerable about the many experiences you've had?
Because I know I'm not alone in those experiences. I know that one of the things that people say a lot of times to me is that you're just so real, you're so relatable.
Yes.
And just like this lady stopped me in the parking lot yesterday, she saw something in me that spoke to her. And even though sometimes it may seem like I'm just out in a cloud and nobody's listening, nobody's life is changing, that's not true.
Yeah.
So if I can reach one person by being transparent and vulnerable and saying, hey, don't go this way, or hey, God does have a call in your life, or you could be better, it's worth it. Because that's the platform that he gave me. It's social media.
Yes. You also have what we know to have is the Empower Initiative.
Yeah.
The Empower Initiative is for women and children, although we have blessed some men.
Yeah.
But it's primarily for women and children. Tell me why you started the Empower Initiative, because you have given away. Pastor Kellie is the philanthropist, and she really does live to give. She really is generous. And I know that there are so many people watching who can attest to this. And for the people who negatively comment, they have never really experienced the real you. But to experience the real you is to know that when you come into connection with you, your life starts to change. And so what I love about, even though everybody won't be as blessed as me, as favored as me, so they can touch you.
Thank you.
But you have used your platform to touch people
Right.
that cannot touch you.
Right.
Tell me why you started the Empower Initiative.
Because I was her. I was that person that needed help, and I don't feel like there was really anybody there to help me. I know what it's like to be a single mom. I know what it's like to be married and still be single. Like still, because I've been through that phase where I was married and I had children, but I didn't have help still, even though you have a quote unquote spouse in the house. You still pretty much are doing everything by yourself. So I just can relate. I know what it's like to be broke and work multiple jobs. And when I was in nursing school, it was just, I had my baby and I didn't know how I was gonna do this thing. And then you got women who've been through abuse and trauma. I just feel like I check a lot of the boxes. but I'm still here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And so again, it's your social responsibility, as I said at the beginning. You have to reach back and pull somebody out of the water that you almost drowned in.
Yeah.
And so that's why I started doing it. And basically what we do is we rescue women in financial crisis. Like if you're in an abusive relationship and you need something to be able to go, or you left already and you don't know how you're going to pay your rent or your car note or whatever, you know, we lend financial strength to women in crisis. But it's because I was her.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get to a place and we act like we don't remember. But I'll never forget. And this is a daily reminder of who I was and what God rescued me from.
As a single parent, tell me about a moment where you realized you were married yet a single parent. Give me a moment. What comes to mind?
How many times? It's just a situation like, so for the majority of my life, and this is why I have to work on this. Even when I was in a relationship, I carried the weight. Like I always have been the one that was like the primary person to carry the weight, wear the pants, so to speak, as people like to say. So I feel like even when there could have been help, I don't know why, I guess I just kept attracting this type of person to my life. Just sorry. You just like, don't help.
It's like patterns and cycles of like.
It was a repeat thing. Like really, and this is the tripped out part. It's not necessarily that they didn't have it. They just didn't share it. Like, what's up with that? And so I've always like had to do. You know, making it happen for my kids.
Do you feel like you've ever, for partnership, do you feel like you've ever done to feel safe? Like, have you given? Do you feel like you've ever bought? Like, do you ever feel like you've made those type of sacrifices to just have a partner, to like feel secure in your relationship?
So I'm always the kind of person that if I see something I think will look nice on you, I'm gonna buy it. If but I don't think this to be loved. I'm just a giver. So I actually get a kick out of like being a blessing like that. So I don't feel like I did that for love. That's just genuinely who I am. You know me well enough to know I'll just buy you stuff. It's not because I'm trying to get you to love me. It's just literally, it's just one of the ways in which I just love, I don't know.
And you think people take advantage
yes,
of it? Yes,
absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Got it.
But I'm not doing it so that you can love me. I'm doing it because
Who I am.
It's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that speaks to the importance of us finding people who really do value us for who we are.
Exactly,
because
it's really who I am.
Yeah.
It's not me trying to pretend to be something else. No, I really like doing things for people. Like I love it. So, in previous relationships, it's been a lot of that, but what do you, and not always, but in most of them, it's like, okay, but what did you do for me?
That brings a thought to mind. How have you differentiated between wanting to do something for someone, like wanting to be present, maybe even in their lives, give to them all the things, and understanding that they don't deserve that of you?
It takes repeat offenses. I'm very gracious, but when I get tired, when a woman's fed up.
Do you feel like you've learned, like, I want to do that for you, but you don't deserve that of me? Do you feel like you've mastered that yet?
I'm getting there.
You getting there?
I have a breaking point, but the thing is, sometimes people don't realize it until it's too late.
Tell me, this is a safe space. Are you open to telling me your most recent breaking point?
I just realized that emotionally, I couldn't handle it anymore. Like, because emotional abuse is a thing.
It is.
Like, somebody doesn't have to put their hands on you to be abusive. And I just feel like some of the things that I was hearing were just not good for me or for my environment. And I just wasn't going to put up with it anymore. Yeah. Because I don't have to.
Yeah. So, and coming to grips with, you don't actually, I want me for you, but you don't deserve me.
Yeah.
And coming to grips with that, what kind of impact did that take on you? How did it affect you?
Say it again. Ask me again.
So, in realizing that you may want the relationship, but understanding that the person may not value having a relationship with you, how have you been able to like navigate that? How has it actually affected you?
I think in any relationship, whether it's a friendship or whatever, you got to see it for what it is. Listen to what the person is saying to you.
Yeah.
And see what they are showing you.
Yeah.
And adjust yourself accordingly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if someone is telling you certain things, quit making excuses for them.
It's good.
Because I've excused a lot of things away in my life. No, if this is how you really feel about me, then let me just accept this for what you said, especially when they're also showing you. Because some things are just not love.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's your sister, your cousin.
Listen.
If you are saying things when you're angry with me that are ugly, or you got a jealous undertone, I'm talking about even in like friendships, like my god brother that I don't fool with. I'm listening to what you say to me.
Yeah.
And your undertone.
The Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Exactly.
So what you say about me tells me your heart concerning me.
So why do I keep making excuses?
Yes.
If you say this is this and this is this and this is this, guess what? I'm gonna call you on it this time. You know, I might let you make it a couple times, but at some point I'm gonna say, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you exactly what you said. I only gave what you asked for.
Yeah.
Then when you give somebody what they asked for, you wrong.
You wrong. That's how it goes. You're the bad guy now.
So for the record, in really all of my past relationships, eventually I gave them what they asked for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Write that down.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were preparing for I'm Woman this year, and while you were taking what I believe is the high road, you weren't even talking about your separation or any of that. You were still honoring because you could have did what you do if you wanted to do it. Yet the other party was not there. Was not taking that road. Right. How was it preparing to go to your international conference, face all these people, speak to them, preach to them, encourage them, with them only having one side of the story?
True character development. I feel like that's what I'm in now, character development. Because when you can learn to be quiet, even though people are like making decisions and taking sides, take your side. Because I don't feel like I gotta plead my case.
Yeah. God
will settle it.
He will.
And that's where I am with everything. Like I've spent too much of my life pleading my case. And then what does it really matter? What you think I should do? When you're not in my house, you don't even know me. Most people who tell you what you should do don't even know you.
Yes. And they don't know who you married to.
And they don't know you because I'm just now learning myself.
Yeah.
So how can you know more? How do you know me and I'm just now learning me?
Yeah.
So that's why you can't take it personal and just always, as hard as it may be, let people talk.
Yeah. Let them have their own narrative. Don't defend it.
Just go right ahead.
Yeah.
Man, I'm looking at stuff they just going in. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
But eventually.
Was it tempting to say something?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't know me. But that's me trying to be loved. That's me trying to be accepted. No, I'm being healed from all of that.
You're walking in that truth. I'm already loved.
I'm already loved.
I'm already
there are plenty
accepted.
of people who love me.
Yeah.
Why am I going to focus in on a handful of y'all that's talking crazy?
Exactly.
When I got all these people saying, Pastor Kellie, you're blessing me. You're changing my life.
Yeah.
Why do I care what you think about something that really ain't got nothing to do with you no way?
Yeah.
We always other folks' business. Like, what does... And that's where I am now. Like, my personal business, like, whatever I do from here is just that.
Yeah.
It's my personal business. That's definitely an adjustment that I'm making.
Have you had to make boundaries? And this probably is crazy because you're so transparent with your platform. Like, I feel like you just, like, whatever, right? Have you had to make boundaries with Warrior Nation?
In what sense?
With your transparency.
In terms of relationship or just in general?
In terms of relationship.
I don't speak on it.
Okay. Well, that is a boundary. Yeah.
And I'm never going to say anything negative.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why do that? I don't have to do that.
That's good.
So that's just a decision I made for myself, no matter what.
Yeah.
Somebody can be a good person and just not be for you.
Amen.
I believe everybody, even my friends, even anybody I've ever had a friendship with or a relationship with or whatever, just because we didn't work doesn't mean they're bad people.
That's good. And it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
So why I got to go around, even if you think I'm bad, well, that's your business.
Yes.
Like,
I think taking a stance for yourself, when you take a stance for yourself, when you stop somebody else's normancy with you, when they're able to bully you, when they're able to talk crazy to you, control, when they're able to do all that, you got to accept that you're about to be the villain. And you're going to be the villain.
And sometimes silence is the best.
Yes. Silence is louder than your speech.
It really is. And then, you really can't, if you don't give in to stuff like that, it will eventually fizzle out.
Yes.
Nobody can argue by themselves. Nobody really can just gossip by themselves. Somebody has to participate.
Yeah.
So this whole thing that God has been doing in my life over the last particularly 7 years of Warrior Nation, it has trained me for a time such as this, where I can ignore a lot of things.
That's good.
Because I've had to ignore a lot of things. So it's all really been character development for me. Because the higher I get, I'm not gonna be able to be going around here, so I can't do it now. If I'm not gonna do it later, I don't need to do it now.
Yeah. What steps have you taken to recover from relational PTSD while maintaining your hope and faith in humanity?
I love humans, even though we be acting crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Identifying my own issues. I think that's where it starts.
That's good.
Yeah. Instead of just saying it's somebody else's fault. No, I take responsibility. It's all my fault.
Yeah.
Because people can only do to you what you allow.
Yeah.
So I take responsibility, because as long as I'm blame shifting, there will be no transformation for me. But if I just say, you know what, I missed it, and start looking at where I missed it, so I can make the corrections, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that's really where I am. I can't hold it against people, because there's so many conditions to things, and where we all behave. Behavior is learned. So we all act a certain way because somewhere along the way we learned it and it was reinforced.
Yeah.
So you really can't hold nothing against folks. I don't hold anything against anybody, because we all in this thing trying to figure it out.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure myself out.
Yes.
Once I get myself figured out,
Right.
I can be a good partner for somebody. But I'm not going into anything else jacked up.
I feel that.
Because you see what I'm saying?
I'm going whole and I'm going healed.
Listen, come on. So it's about getting real with yourself, so that you don't keep repeating these same patterns. So no, it's not anybody else's fault. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I allowed it. I should have gotten my healing. But trauma makes decisions for you.
That's good. If you're not careful, if you're not intentional with healing that trauma, yeah.
But we can excuse it away by saying it's somebody else's fault and assume you got it all together. I don't have it all together. I'm literally trying to figure it out, and I'm getting help to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel good about that. That's why I don't hold it against humans, because we all probably need to be on somebody's couch somewhere. We've all been through things.
Yes. To some extent, I think everybody has mental issues.
And nothing has to be wrong with you to go to therapy and to have wise counsel. It doesn't mean you don't have to be in a storm to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Why not be preventive?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to keep my therapist forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went situational for a situation. I just needed some help navigating some things in my life. But I'm keeping a therapist forever.
Yeah.
Just like I go to the gym, just like I drink water. There are things that you need. You need solid relationships. You need somebody who's trained to help you see things from a different angle. So I do like that, because of my issues, and I'm finally coming to grips with stuff, that I can be more of a voice for mental health, because I believe in it and we need it.
Yeah.
Mental health is just like emotional health, spiritual health, and physical health.
Yes.
We need all of it.
Yes.
I desire that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers.
Yeah.
I desire that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. That's the word of God.
Yeah.
That means all of me.
Yes.
Everything. And that's where I am. And that's why I can't hold it against anybody else.
In retrospect, when you think about life and the lessons that you've learned, maybe particularly in relationships, tell me, what is something you wish you knew sooner that you now know?
That I'm already loved. I'm already enough. And I don't have to change myself for somebody else to love me or like me. We all should want to be better, but I shouldn't have to lose myself to satisfy somebody else. That's not healthy, but that's something that started as a child in me. I didn't realize it, but that's the stem of it. That's the root of it. So, in retrospect, like I said in the beginning, I made a lot of decisions without really knowing why, because my trauma was making the decisions.
Yeah.
I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to like me. Because we want to be liked.
Yeah.
We're relational. Like God made it that way. We got vertical, we got horizontal. But you don't have to force yourself into somebody's life.
Yeah.
Or lose yourself to be in somebody's life. Because the people who God really sends are going to love you flaws and all.
Yes.
So that's what I would tell myself. Like, hey, don't go that route because that ain't even what you actually want. That's you settling.
Yeah.
That's why I can't blame anybody but myself. Because I look back now and be like,
I'm so
did
much
I
better.
really think that was going to work?
Yeah. You titled your sermon, one of your sermons this year at I Am Woman, Sorry, Not Sorry. This is my exodus?
Yes.
Did I hit it right?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Sorry, not sorry. This is my exodus.
So why? Why was that your title there?
Because I'm not sorry.
I love it.
I had to make a decision for me. And I owe no apologies. We got one life to live. And you got to leave some stuff to go into what God has for you. They had to leave Egypt to get to the promised land. And everybody cannot go with you.
Yeah. You're in a new season. You're single. You're leading this ministry into a new space. You're navigating motherhood, all the things, right? What should we expect from you that we haven't seen before, that we've never seen before? Like we got Kellie the prayer closet, we got Kellie warrior apparel, we got these many eras and facets of you, but what have we not seen that we're about to see?
I think just a greater version of myself, like more relatable, freer, like just free. So my message is changing because I'm free.
When you say free, like what are things that come to mind when you say I'm gonna be freer?
Really showing my real personality, like
You feel like you've.
I was showing it, but not. I'm really a cool person, y'all. So just really evolving in that, and just saying, yeah, I'm country. You know, I'm from Mississippi, so I talk like I'm from Mississippi. I ain't got to try to butter that up. You know, I stumble over my words sometimes. Okay, and what?
Right.
I'm not perfect, and what? I've been married multiple times. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
I have 6 children that I love dearly, and what's so crazy is our relationship. Like, well, especially with my oldest 3, like it's what's up.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could be a parent and a friend. I was taught you had to be one or the other.
I'm not your little friend.
Man, but now I'm learning, like, I have a friendship with my kids. I didn't know that was possible. I thought you had to be one or the other. But I feel like we're in a place now where they can, like, tell me stuff and we can hang out. And I texted them yesterday. I was like, where y'all want to go next? I had fun on our last trip.
Yeah.
Like, wanting to hang out, just watching them grow. So you'll see more of that, just more of me authentically being with my family and enjoying that. So just me evolving.
Yeah.
I'm about to get ripped up. Staying in this gym. You definitely gonna see that transformation because I'm working on that every single day too. Books to be written. I really want to spend my life teaching, like seminars, workshops. So I'll be doing that in the next season. But just getting a free version of myself because I don't know exactly what that looks like because I really have never been there before. So we're gonna kind of learn together. But I do know that I'm free and that's gonna look different.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming to Friend Fusion.
I'm just honored to be here.
It means
this
the
was
world
great.
to me.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm excited about it. When you stop worrying about what other people think, you'll get a lot further in life.
What is something you want to leave with our viewers who took the other side?
You messy.
I am.
I hope you enjoying it over there. Because we enjoying it over here.
Period. That's good.
I ain't mad at you.
Friends, I really appreciate you guys joining us for this episode of Friend Fusion. It has been absolutely amazing. I tell you guys again and again that I love Pastor Kels, and I know I almost said our staff here, but it's kind of crazy because she allows me to do everything that she does with her stuff.
Come on
So
now.
our staff here.
Our staff.
Our staff here, everything. Like Pastor Kellie is just like amazing, and I wanted her to share her story in this season of her life because when I heard her message at I Am Woman, I knew that she had embarked upon something that we had not seen. And I wrote down then Pastor Kellie for Friend Fusion, because like this is groundbreaking. The vulnerability there, the transparency there. And if you're a woman watching, and I know that I have so many friends watching, I Am Woman registration is open now. If you have not been to any transformative conference, I want to tell you now that if you really want, your girls trip is not girls tripping. I need you to plan to be at I Am Woman 2025. The website is on the screen, and I know, friend, that your life will change forever. Like, I know the other conferences are popping, and we celebrate them, but I'm telling you, you've heard Pastor Kellie's story, you've heard her authenticity. I'm telling you, when you experience I Am Woman, girl, you'll never be the same again. And I do mean that. So yeah, go and register for I Am Woman. Thank you for joining this episode of Friend Fusion. And whatever you do this week, friend, wait.
Friend, well.
I'm tired, friend. Bye. Love y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Friend Fusion.